for our monthly real estate tools boot camp. So this is a program that we put on every single month. It's always on the first Friday of the month from 9 to noon. It's a 3-hour program, and we do a deep dive into tools, training, technology, marketing pieces for great real estate agents. Now, many of you I could see who are on today's program are Layer agents, and you will, of course, get so much out of today's program because we're going to show you all the places that you can find great tools, etc. But even if you're not a Layer agent, stay tuned because there's still great content. One of the things we're very proud of at Layer is that all of our stuff, our training classes, our marketing, we open it up to agents from all brokerages. So you will find marketing pieces. We're going to go over great training programs, everything you need to grow a successful real estate business. And you will lose nothing, even if you're not a Layer agent. So in other words, even though it's a Layer program, there's plenty of great content and great information, thousands of dollars worth of marketing pieces that we're going to share over the next few hours that is available to everyone who attends our program. So don't go anywhere. So I like to start the program off by first, just as a reminder to have a pen and paper handy. We're going to go through the program and services guide at Layer because we put a lot of the tools in there and the best technologies that you'll want to use. So you could print this out if you have access to a printer. You can just go to Layer Realty, Laer Realty.com/success tools, and you'll see our Layer program and services guide. If you scroll to the very bottom, there's a place where you can download the latest PDF of the program guide so that you could take notes. If you don't have a printer handy, no big deal. Just make sure you have a notebook, or if you're taking notes on a laptop or an iPad. The goal of the program is to walk away and execute. I always like to remind real estate agents that knowledge is not power, execution is power. So it's really important to execute on some of the things that you're going to learn about today. How many things should you execute on? It really is up to you. We're going to go through dozens upon dozens of great tools, marketing pieces, technologies. So we've been told by many real estate agents, we've literally had hundreds and hundreds of agents take this program each year. And agents typically say it's just a fire hose of information. That's why many agents come back every single month, or they come back a few times a year, because they'll go execute on a few things and then come back at a later time to execute on more items. Now, the good news is that we do record the program. So after today's program, you'll be able to access it at youtube.com/Laer, Laer training. So you can go get the recorded version of this in case there's something that you forgot to write down a website, or you forget where to find a marketing piece, etc. Everything is going to be recorded. But I would say a good number for you to write down for execution is 5 items. So like I said, you could write down 40 items that you could go execute on, but by writing down 40 items, oftentimes it's very easy to get stuck because that's a pretty big number. So you see that big daunting number of things that you have to execute on, and it paralyzes agents. So better that you just have your 5 items that you're going to go execute on. And once you execute on those 5 items, come back and take the program once again. So with that, let's get into the program. A little history on Layer Realty. Layer Realty is an independent real estate brokerage. We have about 800 real estate agents throughout Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Florida. We also do business in the other New England states, and we're proudly independent. We'll be 10 years old in April. Our goal from the very beginning was to help real estate agents from all brokerages live their best life possible. So we focus every month and each week through our training, technology, our marketing pieces to help agents in general, our agents and agents from other firms achieve whatever their goals are for their business. As many of you may realize, the success rate of real estate agents is very, very low. So when you get into the business, the odds are actually against you. 87% of people who get a real estate license are already out of the business 3 years later. We feel that that is because oftentimes agents end up at a brokerage where there are no tools, there's no training, there's no technology. And what that means is that they have no sense of direction. They don't know what they should be working on or what they could be working on daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis in order to achieve their dreams. Our goal at Lair is to give you that direction. Make sure you're always pointed in a direction that's going to lead to new business. So as I mentioned, Lair started almost 10 years ago. We'll be 10 years old in April. We help around 4,000 families a year buy and sell real estate. And our goal is to help each and every real estate agent, including you guys. Oftentimes people ask where we got the Lair name from. When we first started the brokerage, we didn't even know what the name of the company was going to be. We hired a branding agency. We told them our goal was to go out and attract and build great real estate agents. And the branding firm asked, what makes a great real estate agent? And we said the best agents are strong. They're negotiators of difficult terrain, just meaning that the best agents are just really good at overcoming obstacles. And the best agents are true protectors of their clients. They do not focus on the paycheck, they focus on helping people. And at the time, we put all those qualities into a Google search: strong protector, negotiator. And a lion came up in our Google search. So we said, that's it. We're going to build our brand around the lions of real estate. In the jungle, lions hang out in lairs. In the real estate world, the lions of real estate are at Lair. I tell people sometimes you see a lion statue in front of a walkway or in front of somebody's house. That is because the lion is a symbol of protection for that home. We look at it that there's a new symbol of protection for real estate across New England and Florida, and it is the Lair for sale sign. So with that, you have a little history on where we came from, and now it's time to dig into all the great resources available to help agents direct their businesses and to live your best life possible. If you're watching the live program, feel free to ask questions throughout today. You can put questions into the Q&A or into the chat so we can answer them throughout the program. As well, pay attention to that chat box, because Sergio, throughout the program, as we talk about links that you'll want to look at or downloads that you'll want to check out, Sergio will share everything in that chat box. So let's get started. So this Lair program and services guide is basically like a 30-page booklet. And we originally created it so that for agents who join the brokerage, there was a nice, concise booklet of the resources, the tools and resources available. As I mentioned, even if you're not a Lair agent, all the tools and resources are available to any agent. Each page of this book is a tool or a resource that you have. Furthermore, we wanted to make it so that once you landed on a page, you could see the tool or resource that you had access to. and that you could click around to that page to get more information. So if you're looking at the version when you go to lairrealty.com/success tools, the PDF version of this is cool because anything that is underlined is links to more information. So you'll find training videos, things like that to help you really utilize the tool for your business. So this program guide is an important tool that you'll want to carry forward into your real estate business. Now, when you look at the guide, you'll see the first few pages are the Lair cultural values. These are mostly important because for when agents are thinking about joining a brokerage, any brokerage, by the way, it's important for them to make sure that their cultural values align with the values of the brokerage that they're going to. So with that said, we spell out all of our cultural values in the first few pages of the booklet. And then, so there's 30 values altogether. And then once you get past those few pages of cultural values, that's where each page is a resource that you have for your business. Now, the biggest resource that we're going to talk about, we start with, is lairagentservices.com. Tons of marketing pieces, training pieces. I mean, everything you need to run your business is at lairagentservices.com. So I just opened up our Lair Agent Services portal. Now, one thing I want to point out is that you'll notice right away as you start clicking around, this is not a password protected portal. We do that for a reason, because our goal is to help every agent live their best life possible. So there's tons and tons of resources available on this page. And we're going to take a dive into the agent services dashboard so that you can see where to find many of these tools. Now, right at the beginning, if you're a Lair agent, we always welcome our most recent agents who joined right at the beginning. So our most recent are Diana, Brenda, Cassandra, and Kimberly. I think I saw Kimberly is on here on our program today. So welcome, Kimberly. Just looking to see if any. Oh, good. Carolyn Brown made it. I have to acknowledge Carolyn. I think this could be her. It could be, you're in the 20s, Carolyn, for the number of boot camps that you have attended. I think I got to make a t-shirt or something. Like, that's an accomplishment. Carolyn is constantly bettering herself. So welcome, Carolyn. I don't see anybody else, but welcome, Kimberly. So Kimberly's one of our new agents and has already been super involved in some of the training programs we have. Okay, once you get past the most recent agents who joined the brokerage, then you go down and the first section is for agents that recently joined the brokerage. So you'll find the first link is the program and services guide, which we're going to go through in depth today, but that's the document we were just talking about, because that is a great guide to make sure you're pointed in the right direction for your business. It gives you all the tools, training, resources, etc. Next, if you're a Lair agent that recently joined, there's a section here on frequently asked questions. Basically, as many of you know, if you're a Lair agent, if you need any administrative support, you just email happyagent@lairrealty.com and our team will reach back and give you the support or answer your questions or whatever you need. We go through, and anytime we see the same questions getting asked frequently, we add them over here to the frequently asked questions. So let's just say it's a Friday night at 9 o'clock and you have a question. There's in our Happy Agent system, usually after 7, there's nobody answering until the next morning. you go to the frequently asked questions, you can usually find the answer to what you need there. And then over here at Tell the World, those are just like social media posts, announcements for you to tell the world what you're doing in your business. So that little section up here, these are all buttons you can press, and it's going to take you over to more information. The really big comprehensive piece and the area where you're going to get the most resources and the most value for any agent, whether you're a layer agent or an agent from another brokerage, is under this marketing, branding, and presentations. Now, first, I like to explain all of our marketing is built off of Canva. We love Canva. Canva is great because it's a branding and marketing tool where you can design great pieces, and it's built for laymen. So before Canva, we used to have a lot of our marketing pieces were created on tools such as Adobe, Photoshop, etc. Those are complicated tools. Like, you have to take a training class to learn how to use Adobe, and it's not super easy. Canva is made for the layman. It is made for somebody that has not gone through classes. It's so simple to use. So we build all of our marketing pieces off of Canva. Now, a couple things to know about Canva. First of all, you can access it from your computer. You can access it from your phone. It's just like, even the presentation I'm doing, this right here, the Layer Program Guide, all of it is built off of Canva. I'm presenting it from Canva. Super easy to use. When it comes to Canva, there's two different versions of that product. There's a free version. Many agents just get the free version of Canva. So you can utilize all of the tools that we're going to talk about today, all these marketing pieces, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute, you can use with the free version of Canva. There's also an upgraded version of Canva, which is $12.95 per month. As much as you can totally use all the products we're going to go through today with the free version of Canva, I highly recommend the $12.95 version of Canva. $12.95 per month version. What does the $12.95 version have that the free version does not have? Couple things. First, stock images. So, you know, when you're creating a marketing piece and you want like a picture, a really beautiful picture of a luxury kitchen, for example, or it could be anything. You want to be able to have a huge database of beautiful photos to use in your marketing pieces. If you have the upgraded version, the $12.95 a month version of Canva, you will have access to literally tens of thousands of stock images to use. Now, even the free version of Canva has many stock images, but not tens of thousands of stock images. So the biggest reason why you want to have the upgraded version, the $12.95 a month version of Canva, is so that you have access to more images. The second reason that many agents utilize the upgraded version of Canva is you also can schedule out your social media posts right from Canva if you so choose. So while you're inside Canva, you could schedule out a month's worth of social media, for example, to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. So many agents like that feature. Now, the one caveat I'm going to tell you is that as we go through, and I'm going to show you an example of what I mean right here. Let's go first to guides, presentations, and brochures. There's tons of pieces here for real estate agents, any real estate agents. So if you go into that first link, you're going to find all kinds of Canva marketing pieces that you can customize. So let's say, for example, I like this one. It's like a flyer, and it's a monopoly board of the buying process. There's another one that we created, which is a monopoly board of the selling process. But what's cool about Canva, I'm going to try to make this a little bigger. You customize any of these. You can customize, for example, the bricks around the board, or I'm going to hide my taskbar just to make this. There, just so you guys can see that a little better. So basically you could customize anything. This is like 8.5 by 11 flyer that you can create, and you would just like, you would pop out, put in your name, your contact information, you put in your logo, your phone number, and then put in your photo. So all of our marketing pieces that we're about to go through are just that simple. So you could have this cool marketing piece, the monopoly board buying piece to include in your buyer packages. This would take you less than 5 minutes to customize, and now you have a nice flyer. So a couple things you can do with this is when you share it, so in order to get it off of Canva so you can use it, you just go to share and then you download it. And then it's going to ask what type of download do you want? The reason it's asking that is because if you're doing like a, if you want to print it to put it into a package, you would download it as a PDF. Whereas if you're going to be sharing it to social media and you want it in an image format, then you're going to use PNG or JPEG. But that's how easy Canva is, that you can kind of make really cool pieces and then share them in any format you want, such as a document or an image that you can use in social media. So this is one of them. Let's go back. So there's tens of thousands of dollars worth of marketing pieces in here. Let's see some of my favorites. Let's go first to the Layer Agent, the seller guide. So this is a guide to selling a home. So this is a booklet that you would typically put into a pre-listing package, for example, or into your listing package. And you'll see we have two different covers. So you pick which cover you want to use and delete the other one. All of this can be customized. So you can delete out the logo, change out any of these photos, super easy. And then you update with your contact information, your name. And that's pretty much it. You can go through and read all of this, and any of it can be switched out. So at the end, we have a little 20-point marketing plan for a listing. And at the end, you want to put in like your name, your contact information, etc. All of this is customizable, 100% of this. Now, let's go back for a second just to talk about Canva and the free version versus the paid version. Sometimes agents will open some of the marketing pieces on our site. So they'll go to Layer Agent Services and they open a marketing piece. So you guys see this pretty picture of a kind of like a contemporary gray kitchen. That is probably a stock photo from Canva. And it's probably a stock photo from the paid version of Canva. So what sometimes happens with any agent is they go in and they go in to open this templated guide, the seller guide, because they want to customize it so that they can print it out and have a nice 15-page booklet to give to sellers. And they go to customize it, and this picture right here has a big X through it. So if you were to print out the booklet as a PDF to bind it, it would print with this big X on it. That is because if I got the photo, or our marketing team got the photo from the paid version of Canva, and you're using the free version of Canva, then the free version is going to say, you can't have this photo because that's for the paid Canva subscribers. Now, that does not mean that you must now sign up for the paid version of Canva. Now, if you do sign up for the paid version of Canva, the X immediately goes away. The big X across this photo goes away. But the alternative is you just delete this photo. So you go change out the photo and put in a different photo. So you can go to the free version of Canva, pick one of the free photos that are available, or better yet, maybe you have a nice listing that had a beautiful kitchen and you own the photo. You can upload that. So that's why I say, even if you have the free version of Canva, you can 100% use all of the templates that our marketing team has spent thousands and thousands of hours creating. It's just occasionally, if you're using the free version of Canva, you're going to have to switch out photos because you're going to see ones that have a big X. And that is because we use the upgraded version of Canva because we as a brokerage want to have the nicer photos. So that's just a little explanation on that. But this is a 15-page guide to selling your home. If you scroll through, there's all kinds of stuff in here. There's an expired listing package, which I think is cool. Yes, every market has expired listings. We think the market's so busy in many areas that there's no expired listings. Every town has expired listings. So we have a really nice booklet that talks about why a home might not have sold. So if you want to go door knock or visit an expired listing, we have a great buyer's guide. So this is the buyer's guide. You open this again, everything can be changed out. Logos, photos, everything. This one is a 16-page guide to buying a home. So again, you can go through and read it. If there's something you don't like in it, our marketing team spent a lot of time making sure it's like spell checked and grammatically correct. But let's just say you could change out these photos, for example. If there's anything you don't like in there, you can literally delete out a page. So you'll see I have like these little delete page buttons. You can add pages, you can delete pages, you can take out logos, you can put your picture on there. Super easy. Our goal is that we don't want real estate agents sitting at a desk 40 hours a week creating marketing pieces. I mean, you could spend a year just doing all the marketing pieces that we've already created right here for you. We created all these pieces so that rather than you spending a week putting together a really informative guide to buying a home, that you could spend 15 minutes customizing a really nice guide to buying a home that makes you look super professional, that you're on top of your game, that you're great at marketing. I will tell you for sure on this buyer's guide, there's a handful of photos in this guide that if you have the free version of Canva, you're gonna have to delete out the photo and upload another photo because some of these stock images are definitely from the paid version of Canva. But beyond those guides, so we have a buyer guide, a seller guide, an expired guide. These are all booklets, and an investor guide. So if you're working with investors, there's a great booklet for working with investors. There's a questionnaire just listed, and open house flyers. I mean, if you're a layer agent, we do all these for you, but if you wanted to go in and create your own flyer, we have that. We have a listing presentation, all customizable. Let's see some of the other, I like the trusted vendor list. We'll talk about this in a little bit probably, but if you want to put together your own booklet of the vendors you like to work with most, this is a cool little customizable template where you list out your favorite vendors. This locals guide I really love as well. Let's just say you have a listing in Vero Beach, Florida. I think customizing this little guide with the top 10 places to explore in Vero Beach, all of this is customizable. So you would just change top 10 places to explore. You would delete out Boston and put Vero Beach, put your logo, your contact info. And this takes a little bit of customization because you would put in like the best farmers market, the best local boutiques, the best coffee shops, the best place for brunch. And these are really cool to have at an open house. So like a little thing that people coming into your open house can take with them. Let's see. By the way, in case you've never used Canva, I do like to just say, when you open a template and make changes, you're not changing our version of it. It opens in a new version. So it's your version. It's not going to change it for everybody. Once you open the template, it's now in your Canva and only you have access to whatever you've added to it. Because we have had agents say, I don't want to go in and change anything because I don't want to mess up your version. It doesn't do anything to our version. The layer sustainability report is in there. There's a couple others that are kind of cool. Inclusions and exclusions. I kind of like this for bringing on a listing presentation. When you're listing a property, just kind of like it jogs your memory, like what's staying, what's not staying, or what is not applicable. So it's kind of a list to go through with your seller on what's staying and going. So there's no miscommunication about what's staying or going within the property. The other thing that's kind of cool is this utility sheet that you can give to a seller to fill out so that it's just information for potential buyers, just saying like, who are the utility providers? What are the average cost of utilities? Things like that. And then utility, this one's really helpful just to be able to give to the buyer of the property, like here's the electric company, here's the solar company, the gas company, the oil company, the propane cable. So that's a pretty cool form as well. If you're a layer agent, every time you list a property, we do 7 days of advertising on your behalf using Boost by HomeSpotter. So this is Facebook, Instagram, and pay-per-click advertising. We do it for you, so you don't have to do anything. If you're a layer agent, you don't have to do anything to get that going. It just automatically happens. But you should be including this flyer in your listing packages and talking about it with the sellers, explaining what it is. So there's a flyer right here for you to download. So that is a bunch of like brochures, flyers, etc., that you will definitely want to check out for your business. So that's under guides, presentations, and brochures. Next section is the weekly social media assistant. Now, if you're a layer agent, you know every Monday morning you get a text message from our marketing concierge team, and it's all your social media pieces for the week. So it'll say, good morning. Below is a link to all of your social media pieces. We write the content, we do everything. Now, so you really probably don't need this page, but let's just say you want to go back and find an old piece, maybe from a couple weeks ago, that you now want to post. You can do that right here. So in a little while, we're going to have Sergio come on and talk about the social media assistant. All you have to know is, like, for the weekly social media for your personal business, you receive it by text every Monday. But if you need to go back and find it, you can find like an old piece from 3 weeks ago that you want to share. You can find it right here. If you're a Lair agent and you have a special marketing request, you could click here and our team will create that for you. Special marketing requests are typically, let's just say, you want help with a brochure, or like Lair automatically creates your listing pieces on every new listing. So you don't need to make a request for marketing pieces for your new listing. We do it automatically. But what happens if you want to market it as a coming soon? Then you'd go on here, because we wouldn't have access to all the information from MLS. You could upload all the information here as well. Sometimes agents will do a marketing request because they're going on like a luxury listing appointment and they want to have a marketing piece to show to the seller. So you could do a special request right here. The other piece that agents use this marketing request for is if you see Lair agents like posting what's happening in a certain market, for example, in a town, a county, anywhere in New England or Florida, and you want to be able to post one of those to your social media talking about what's going on in the market in your town, you could just do a market update report request, and it's going to ask you to list what town or county you want, and then our team creates the piece and emails it to you. So that's what the special marketing request section is for. Let's go down to open house resources. This is a fairly new section for us. Couple things that you'll want to take a look at. There's all kinds of cool resources for open houses right here. Now, if you scroll down, you're going to see sign-in sheets, welcome signs, interior signs, feedback surveys. Let's say, for example, interior signs. Sometimes if you're predicting like a very busy open house, but there's certain things that you want to highlight throughout the house, you can create these little signs, maybe saying like, talking about some of the interior features. So those are kind of cool little custom option. A feedback survey. These are great to either use at an open house. So let's just say the house has been on the market for a while. I know there's not a ton of those, but let's just say the house has been on the market for a while and you want to get feedback from either other real estate agents or from people coming into the open house. These open house feedbacks are kind of cool because now you can collect this information and give it over to your seller if you want to have a discussion about a price reduction. So these are just like marketing. The other things down here, these little pop-by tags. So if you want to give a gift at your open houses, like a little giveaway, I love these little popcorn pop-by tags. So these are just little tags that you create. You would customize them and print them and stick them on like microwave popcorn, because that's an inexpensive little giveaway that makes you memorable. And you could have like a little basket of your thanks for popping by popcorn at your open house, either a broker open house or regular open house. At the top of this page, by the way, there's a couple other buttons that are specific for Lair agents. Everything on below, the marketing pieces, those are anybody can access. For Lair agents, we have two other buttons at the top. One is if you're an agent who needs open house coverage, that means that you have a bunch of listings and you don't have the capacity, or maybe you're on vacation, to do the open house and you would like an agent to cover your open house. You fill out this form and then you tell us which offices would you like to notify. So let's just say you're a Chelmsford agent and you have a listing in Chelmsford. and you can't do the open house Sunday because you're on vacation, but the seller really wants an open house on Sunday. Then you would fill out this form and you just put your name, your email, the property address, the property price, your date of preference for the open house, how many hours, is there a preferred time, any other important details about the open house, and then which offices would you like to notify? So we don't want to mass email the whole company, because if the offices are too far away, they're not going to be, those agents aren't interested in covering an open house in Chelmsford. But you could just notify the Andover, Billerica, Burlington, Chelmsford, Dracut, Lowell. That's probably it. Or Westford. I'd also, so you click off the offices that are near Chelmsford, and then you press go. And then a mass email goes out to those agents and every agent in the offices you've selected, and we'll say we have an open house opportunity for an agent. So the other is a broker open house notification. Very similar, but if you're doing a broker open house, you want to get as many real estate agents to your broker open house as possible. And if you're a lair agent, we want to make sure our lair agents are supporting your broker open house. So same thing, you fill out this form with information about your broker open house. And then submit it. And then whatever offices you've selected, which will be the offices in your general marketing vicinity, all of them will receive an email of the broker open house, the date, the time, a picture of the house, etc. So all of that is under the open house section. This is also new, a commercial resources section. Super new for us. We're still expanding upon it. But we have lots of real estate agents that are exploring commercial real estate. Why? Well, first of all, the market is predicting that we're going to see 30% less sales this year over last year. And at least for the first 3 months of the year, I can attest to the fact that the numbers were off by 30%. We're definitely seeing an improvement and more inventory come on the market, but interest rates may go up again. So there's expected across the board in our industry a 30% decrease in the number of transactions. So many real estate agents are looking for other ways to fill that 30% gap. One of the ways to do that is through commercial real estate. So we've been working at building our commercial marketing pieces to help agents dive into that new type of business. So we have a commercial listing presentation / guide, a commercial offering memorandum, which is like a marketing brochure for a new listing, commercial evaluation model. So these are just, this is going to open in an Excel spreadsheet, and it's like a spreadsheet for helping you value a property. There's a whole section here of just commercial logos, if you're a lair agent with our commercial logos. If you're a lair agent, and actually if you're an agent from anywhere, if you want to join our commercial network, you don't have to be a lair agent. But in New England and Florida, we're bringing agents together monthly who are interested in learning more about commercial real estate. So basically, it's just like a monthly networking group. If you have any listings that you want to promote, you can promote them at that group. Each month, there's different speakers, etc. Like, for example, a 1031 exchange speaker or a speaker on commercial insurance or commercial financing. If you want to join the Lair Commercial Network, you just fill out this form. Just give us your name and email address. That way it puts you on our email list for our commercial group. So anytime commercial stuff's happening, you'll just be part of our email. And then we also have a Facebook group for agents that are super interested in commercial real estate. So there you'll see announcements of any programs coming up, etc. And then we highly recommend, if you are a residential agent interested in commercial real estate, this is a phenomenal program. The commercial real estate course for residential agents, highly recommend it. Many of our agents have been through it. The price of the program is $4.99. With that, you get like this 500-page ebook with everything you would want to know about commercial real estate. But in addition to that, there's all these little training courses and stuff like that. So many of our agents have already seen success. They go take the commercial real estate course for residential agents. It gives them a level of confidence. If you're a layer agent, we do reimburse 50% of the cost of the program. So if you're a layer agent, you take the commercial real estate course for residential agents, I think it's $4.99. You sign up, buy the product, and then email your receipt to happyagent@layerrealty.com. And we reimburse for 50% of the cost of the program. The reason we do that for our agents is because we're just seeing a lot of success with real estate agents bridging that 30% gap by going and learning a new type of business, which is very different than residential business, and that is commercial real estate. So that's our commercial real estate section, which of course is we're still like improving upon it, adding to it. That's a fairly new section of the Layer Agent Services dashboard. Let's go to signs, apparel, and print marketing. Okay, Layer signs, apparel, business cards, etc. If you're trying to order signs, if you're a Layer agent, we have thousands of signs, so you don't necessarily have to go buy your own signs. But sometimes agents like to have their own open house signs, so you can keep them at your house and they're readily accessible. As well, some agents like to have their own branding on their signs, like their own photo and contact information. So these two links will take you over to the Layer branded for sale open house signs. We also have a little store created at Markful for ordering signs, Layer apparel, Layer business cards, etc. These are more companies. That's all Layer apparel. Okay, down at the bottom is print marketing. Really important, because this is one of the things I would say you might want to add to your list of things to do, your 5 items that you're going to go work on. One of them, I would probably sign up for MLSmailings.com. So these are 5 of our favorite print marketing companies, each one slightly different. And by the way, we don't get paid anything for promoting these. We're not promoting them to you because there's something in it for us. We're promoting them because we think they do a really good job. One of them is MLS Mailings. If you click on that, this is a company that does just listed, just sold postcards. The one thing I tell real estate agents, you should never be sitting at home or at your office putting address labels on letters or postcards. Like, you should not do your own mailings. It is not a good use of your time. There are so many great companies that can do that with a tiny fraction of the energy and the cost of you doing it yourself. MLS Mailings is one of those companies. So often agents say, I want a postcard to go out. I just listed this property. I want 200 people in the neighborhood to get my new listing announcement. Or you just sold a property. I want 200 people to get notification that I just sold this property. MLS Mailings is a set it and forget it program that it hooks into your MLS. So that every time you list or sell a property, you just tell the system, hey, I want 200 cards or 100 postcards to go out to the whole neighborhood every time I list or sell a house. It's automated. It is set it and forget it. By the way, one of the keys to your success in the real estate business is finding set it and forget it systems. MLS Mailings is a set it and forget it system. You set it up and your mailings are automatically going to go out. The second company I'm a huge fan of is TPMCO, the personal marketing company. This company does a program. They change the price occasionally. I think most recently it's $30. Let's go see if we can see. I think it's a $30 one-time fee. But basically they have this program that you pay once, and then over a series of 5 years, they send, let's just see if I can find it. They send automatic postcards and newsletters to your sphere. The reason I love it is because sometimes where we forget as real estate agents to market is the people who just closed on a property. And I think it's because we're like, well, they just closed, so I don't really have to focus a lot of energy or time or anything marketing to that person. But really, that's the person you should be marketing to, because that is your unpaid sales team, somebody who already knows, likes, and trusts you. So you should have a program that is consistently marketing to that person who just closed. And the personal marketing company has some products for doing that. So huge fan of that. The other is Wise Pelican. Wise Pelican is also a company that does postcards, brochures, letters. I love it for a few reasons. Number one, they do every door direct mailings. So that means that you don't necessarily have to have your mailing list. You don't need to have a mailing list. It gives you, if you want to like send to a neighborhood or a particular area, you just circle it on a map and they'll send to that area. So you don't need a list. If you do have a list, like past customers, they let you upload the list. They have thousands and thousands of different postcards to choose from. I'm a huge fan of Wise Pelican for marketing. So if you've been in the business for 20 plus years, like I have, there are many agents who go old school and say, I'll just print it at my office and I'll address the envelopes. And it's so much work. It's not worth it. I promise you, it is not worth it. Use one of these mailing companies, because you don't want to spend 3 days trying to get a mailer out when there's a company that in 20 minutes, you can just go have that mailer already like set and scheduled to go out tomorrow. Couple others, Yellow Letters Complete. These are great, like if you want a company that does handwritten note cards for you, or RSP, data-driven marketing, very similar to like a Wise Pelican. But these are some great companies for just organizing your marketing campaigns throughout the year. All right, we're still in the marketing, branding, and presentations. Next is the Lair Rural Report. If you're a Lair agent, every month our team creates a printed newsletter for you to send out to your clients. Well, it doesn't have to be sent out to your clients. It is a printed newsletter. I only say printed because there's two different types of newsletters in our real estate business. One is you should have an email newsletter that goes out to your entire sphere once a month. This is not that. This is not an email newsletter. It doesn't work great in email format. It's possible to tinker with it if you have a MailChimp account. I think there's an easier way to do an email newsletter, and I'll show you that in a little while. This is more for a printed newsletter. What would you do with the printed newsletter? One, you could mail it out to your sphere. That's one option, just printing them and mailing them. Although if you're going to do that, I would still go back to those print companies we just looked at. For example, Yellow Letters Direct does print and mail those, post the Rural Report from many of our agents. Or they're also great to have at open houses, to include in your buyer packages, seller packages, etc. So let's take a look at what this looks like. There's two different versions. You can print it in 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 17. I'm opening the version in the 11 by 17. And so when you get to the rural report, this changes every month, by the way. So there's a new rural report every single month. Anywhere you see these red circles, by the way, those red circles should be deleted. We do those red circles so you know what you must change, like where to put your phone number, your name, stuff. But once you've done that, you just delete. So super easy to delete the red circle. Anything on this newsletter can be customized. The reason I say that is because oftentimes I see real estate agents where their mortgage partner is sponsoring their newsletter. In other words, their mortgage company is paying for some of the postage to send the newsletter out, for example. This whole section, any of these sections on the newsletter can be chopped out, and then you can put an article about your partner. So whoever the mortgage company is that you're working with, have a little article in there about them or an advertisement. So this opens in Canva. This particular version is the 11 by 17 version. Logos and images. So if you're a layer agent and you need some logos, maybe you're working on, we have lots of agents that sponsor like baseball teams and stuff like that. You need any type of logo, you can go find it here. Also, this is recently added. Many agents have taken our Algorwin training program. And part of that program is we tell you to get out and visit 5 people per week and bring an item of value. Go pop by somebody's house, bring an item of value. And so we created all these little like stickers. You could either stick them or tags that you can tape on to stuff. So for example, let's just say that you wanted to bring lemonade. So these are all meant for like little inexpensive pop-by ideas. And this one is the lemonade one. So this will print out 4 per page. And it says, selling your home with me is easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then put all of your contact information. So we have them for all kinds: Easter, seeds, July 4th sparklers, lifesavers, s'mores, oranges. So all different pop-by tags. They open in Canva, you print them and you stick them on to your inexpensive pop-by, so that you have some item that you're dropping off as a reason to go stop by somebody's property. Okay, so that's everything under the marketing section. Literally thousands and thousands of dollars worth of marketing content or branding content for any real estate agent. Let's just back up for 1 second and talk about the 5 things that you're going to execute on when you leave today's program. Number 1, I would sign up for MLS mailings. That way you have set it and forget it, that every time you list or sell a property, that the just listed, just sold postcards are going to go out to the entire neighborhood. So I would do that. Secondly, we went through guides, presentations, and brochures. I would highly recommend that one of the items you put on your to-do list is that you go create a seller guide, a buyer guide, and a pre-listing. I'm sorry, seller, buyer, and investor package, 3 packages. And we give all 3 of them under guides, presentations, and brochures. In less than 30 minutes, I think you could customize all 3 of them, download them as a PDF, bind them, and you have really nice packages for buyers, sellers, and investors. So those are the 3 things, the 2 things I would do: putting your brochures or packages together. And then secondly, I would set up MLS mailings. Those couple of things are pretty important to have ready. Let's keep going down because there's still more to see under Layer Agent Services. Next, let's talk about agent growth and development. First, if you go to classes, meetings, and coaching, few things to know. First of all, if you're an agent from any brokerage, you can go check out our training calendar. By the way, if you're in our Facebook group, our ROAR Facebook group, we put all of our live training. You can watch it live all throughout the week. And if you miss something, we keep it there so you can go back and review it whenever you want. As well, if you go to YouTube, our YouTube training channel. So we have literally hundreds and hundreds of classes on our YouTube station, and we add to it every single week. I would highly recommend that you go to youtube.com/layer training. I'm not even going to say to add this to your list, your to-do list, because you can do this right now. You go to youtube.com/layer training and hit the subscribe button. The reason that's important is because there's so much training that every time a new training program comes out, you'll just get a notification. Hey, another Layer just put out another social media mastery class, for example. So this is all of our recorded training. So you can either go to our training calendar if you want to see all the upcoming live training, or you can go to YouTube training channel and definitely subscribe so that you could see all the classes as they get uploaded. The other thing I want to point out here, if you're a Layer agent and you're interested in coaching, then we have a phenomenal coaching program for agents that want to take their business to a whole new level. Just hit the coaching button. This coaching program is only for Layer agents, but we do offer this program at no cost. In fact, we only charge agents. So if you sign up for our coaching program, it's pretty intense. We send you a 250-page booklet, a workbook on how to build a real estate business. And then we assign a coach to you. The coach that gets assigned to you is a high-performing real estate agent. Typically, it's an agent doing $8 million plus in sales, so that they do 2 monthly coaching calls with you to make sure you stay accountable into the coaching program. The booklet, the workbook, is 250 pages broken down into monthly segments for a 12-month period. Now, the coach is only assigned for 6 months. So they get you up and running for the first 6 months with your bi-weekly coaching calls, etc. So if you're interested in our coaching program, you could fill out the form below. We'll get you into the next round of coaching. I do say it's best if you're a full-time agent, because it is a time commitment to make sure that you're staying on track with the program. There's no cost to the program as long as you stick in it for the 6 months. So once you sign up, we send you the booklet, we do an introductory program. And for the first 30 days, if you find that it's too intense, you can drop out of the program with no penalty. After 30 days, if you drop out of the program, there is a charge for the system because we are paying coaches. And I always say we only charge if you drop out of the program. And that is because we don't really want your money. What we prefer is that you stay in the coaching program. So if you're a Layer agent and you feel that you need extra accountability and an extra amount of direction, then highly recommend our coaching program. Let's see. Also, under the agent growth and development, we have business plans and growth systems. couple things I want to say about business planning and systems for growth, etc. There's a lot of junk out there for real estate agents, like a lot of programs that I would never recommend to a real estate agent. We do have a couple of fantastic programs that we have been, or many of our agents have been using. So here we have 3 different systems: the Algorand system, 2, just a straight business planning guide, and 3, a simple plan. Let me go through each one with you. Algorand. So first, let me go over. I'm going to stop sharing just for one moment. So the first one is Algorand. Some of you may have already taken the classes. We've been doing live in-person classes throughout Massachusetts, or I should say throughout New England and Florida. So some of you may have already been through our Algorand program, but let me pull it up just to give you a taste in case you've never seen it. So you can click on the button I just showed you at Lair Agent Services, and you can actually download the whole Algorand workbook in case you're not familiar with the program and want to try it out just on your own. But also, if you like what you see, I strongly recommend that you attend one of the training classes. All right, let me go back to sharing. Okay, so this is the Algorand program. Basically, the book is a 100-page booklet, and it is a growth system for real estate agents. It is a system to give you direction for your business yearly, monthly, and weekly. Basically, what we did is we went out and interviewed all of the highest performing real estate agents at Lair, like agents doing over $10 million in business. So we have agents doing $10 million, tons of agents doing 10 million up to over $100 million in business. So we went out and interviewed them to figure out, why is it some agents seem to do all the right things and never have success, while other agents like make success look so easy? So basically what we created here is a growth system. It is not just a business plan. It's not just like a list of things that I will do in order to accomplish a goal. It is a true system. So you can download the whole book right from our Lair Agent Services page. One thing I like to note is when you go to the table of contents, you can click on any of these sections and it will move you over to that section. Part 1 just explains what the program is and why it works, and also why it sometimes won't work for certain agents. Part 2 is the system. So basically the entire system is checklists. It's 7 checklists that you utilize for your business. One is a yearly checklist, which is a program that or a checklist that you do once a year of 12 items to set yourself up for success. It is the most important checklist. And then it has a monthly checklist of all the things you must do on a monthly basis to achieve 30 transactions a year, as well as a weekly checklist, a new buyer appointment checklist, a new seller appointment checklist, a new listing checklist, and a client appreciation checklist. I'll show you a quick view of the checklist. The best way to learn the program is, like I said, first download the book, read through it. It's an easy read. And then part 3 of the program is we help you track all of your, to make sure you're doing the checklists. So instead of tracking results, you're tracking the process, because we know that if you just do the process, the algorithm says you're going to do 30 transactions a year if you stick to the process, the checklist, and none of the checklists are difficult. And then part 4, anything we tell you should be doing, within the booklet, we tell you exactly how to do it, step-by-step instructions at the end of the booklet. So just to give you guys a quick idea of what these checklists look like, this is the yearly checklist. This has 12 items on it. So each square or each rectangle is one of the 12 items. All the other checklists only have 9 items. So this is the monthly action checklist, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's a weekly action checklist. These are the things you must be doing once a week. It's not all real estate related. For example, you'll see once a week, we have you writing the 25 things you're most grateful for, because not only is this book about the action steps you must take to achieve success, but also this whole guide is about manifesting, like utilizing your energy to attract business. So I only say that because sometimes people just like delete off the gratitude list because they're like, oh, that's not for getting business. That's actually the most important part of the checklist, because it's keeping you at a high vibration so that you can attract business. So this is the weekly, this is the new buyer action checklist. These are the things every time you get a new buyer, 9 rectangles, 9 items, a new seller appointment checklist, the Algorand new listing checklist, because every listing, like you get the opportunity to audition for your next client every time you get a new listing. So we spell out all the action steps, and then client appreciation events. So doing 4 client appreciation events a year is part of the program. We show you exactly how to do it all, how you can do it without having to pay for it. You can download, by the way, everything that I'm going through right here at lairrealty.com/algor, ALGOR, win. It's an algorithm for winning in the business. We tell agents, if you stick to the program and do everything within the program, you can expect to close 30+ transactions a year. And then we have process tracking sheets, so you can track and make sure you're staying on track with everything. And then at the very back of the book is all of the other like stuff, anything that we tell you that you need to be doing in your business, all the extra stuff. The entire book is it's less than 100 pages. So let's go back to our Lair Agent Services. All of that you can download, any agent can download it, but we're seeing many agents. It's so cool getting to see some of the results that our agents are having from this program, only because it's not heavy lifting. Like any agent can do any of it, and it's all about giving you direction. So if you are an agent that is struggling with like knowing what to do every day, what you should be focusing on each day, then one of the things on your execution list that you should be working on is go download the Algorand booklet so that you can start having that daily direction. Also, under business plans and growth systems, there's also a traditional business plan. If traditional business planning is more your style, this is one that we wrote, and it's like a traditional real estate business plan. It's a PDF. You just download it, print it, and fill out numbers. This is a cool program to do with like a team. So you could get your team together and go through like having everybody write out their vision statements and mission statements, and calculating where their business currently comes from and where it's going to come from. So that's like a traditional business plan. And we also have another business plan that we created that really gets agents focusing on where the gaps are. So who are you today and where do you want to be 1 year from now? And focusing specifically on the gap from where you are now to where you want to be, and then creating an action plan based on that gap. So that's the third type of business planning / growth tool. There's also an income producing activities checklist. All of this is designed like when you wake up and you're not sure what to do on a daily basis, this income producing activity checklist is kind of cool too, because just like a list of things you can go work on that can produce income for your business. So that is all under business planning and tools. Let's go down to the agent toolbox. Few other tools that we have here. Some cool tech tools. Again, anytime you see technology that we're promoting, we're not getting paid to promote it. We do it, we just believe in the product. So if you're a Layer agent, these are the tools that you get as part of the Layer Tech Bundle. So Isaac, Boston Logic, Real Scout. This is super cool, by the way. This is for any agent. So go under the tech tools section and we have a super cool listing description generator and agent bio generator. These are super cool. All you guys have been hearing about, like ChatGPT can write your listing descriptions, etc. But all of those are like ChatGPT is overwhelming for some real estate agents. It is like it's a little bit clunky and cumbersome. So our marketing team just created this nice little form you fill out. Number of paragraphs you want for a listing description, your email address, the property address, the property type. You click off some a link to tell us what style house, how many bedrooms, how many baths, square footage, acreage, and then you type out the features. And then you press submit, and then the system will email you a listing description. Super cool, super easy to use. Remember, it's artificial intelligence, so you do need to double check everything. And then same with the agent bio generator. So you can go in here, you want to write a nice bio about your how long you've been in business and stuff like that, because that's one of the things you'll see in the Algorand program. So many agents don't have a really good bio. And remember, you're always auditioning, like you're always applying for a job when you're a real estate agent. The job we're asking for is the listing. So go write a nice bio about yourself and put it on all the sites that feature you. And both of these are available for any agent. You don't have to be a Layer agent to utilize these. These are just the login pages for like Cloud CMA, Dotloop, Isaac, Real Scout, Showing Time. And then other great tools we recommend, Showami. If you're an agent that needs somebody to go show a house for you, Showami is where it's at. Because you can basically, let's say this afternoon, you have appointments all day, and now another customer calls you and they need to go look at this house immediately because they're worried it's going to be gone by tomorrow. And you cannot be in two places at once. You go to Showami, you download the app, and you basically pay a fee for another real estate agent to go out and show the property for you. Super cool. By the way, you can become a Showami showing agent. You still stay at your brokerage, but you also, it's like Uber. So sometimes you see agents that are like making some extra money on Uber. Why wouldn't you make extra money by showing real estate and getting paid to show real estate? Become a Showami agent. HomeBot is super cool. This is a product for sending your customers each month, like a update on what's happening on their property, like a market update. It automatically emails them what roughly the value is, what's happening in the marketplace. Home Value Leads is another cool program for doing like an instant CMA. If you want to give a consumer the availability to get an instant CMA that immediately calculates a number for them, Home Value Leads is where it's at. And Exposio is a cool app for photography. Hopefully you're doing professional photography on all of your listings, because each listing is an audition for your next transaction. If you're not doing professional photography, then Exposio is the next best thing. It takes like your iPhone photos and makes them 10 times nicer. You download the app, you take all your pictures using the Exposio app, and they charge you $1 for each photo that you want to download using the app. Super cool. It's not as good as regular professional photography, but it is better than just an iPhone photo. So that is all under Agent Toolbox. We're going to have Craig, our Chief Sustainability Officer, on in about 3 minutes. But before we do that, I want to just make sure you guys know that we do have a big focus for agents interested in sustainability. By the way, you should be interested in sustainability in your career because consumers are interested in sustainability in their careers. So interesting. I was sitting in traffic yesterday and I feel like 50% of the cars were Teslas. I'm like, holy cow, everywhere I look is Teslas. And how many other of those vehicles within the traffic I was sitting in were either hybrid or electric cars, and I didn't even know it. A Tesla is easy to recognize, but I feel like we've tipped, I feel like just by looking at in traffic, I feel like we've tipped over 50% of vehicles right now are like sustainable vehicles of some sort. So why does it matter? That is an indicator, because if that's happening in the automobile industry, what's happening in our industry? So even if you're not interested in sustainability, just look around you at the world, because the world is interested in sustainability, which means for you to be an asset to your customers, you got to be into sustainability. So we have a whole section here on sustainability resources and tools. Craig is going to be on in a minute and he can help you navigate this and some other cool things that he's working on for the sustainable agents interested in sustainability. There's also a library here of other resources. If you're a Layer agent, there's a little button here for getting paid. This is like an electronic form when you have a transaction close and you want to get paid. You click that, you fill out an online check request, and that notifies bookkeeping that an agent is going to be looking for a commission. And then down here, we just have an agent and office directory if you're looking for one of our 800 real estate agents, or you're looking for office, what towns we have offices in, you can go to the Layer offices section. And then down at the very bottom, our brokerage blog, just what's happening within Layer. So that is basically it for our Layer agent services section. Now, that is the first page of our Layer program and services guide. And we're halfway through today's program, but hopefully you'll agree that you've already gotten tens of thousands of dollars worth of great content and information that you can start executing on in your business. And with that, I want to introduce Craig Foley, our Chief Sustainability Officer, to tell you what Layer is working on the sustainability front.
Thanks a lot, Stacy. I appreciate it. Just bring up my PowerPoint here. All right. As Stacy said, there's a lot going on, in the general marketplace, whether it's electric vehicles or homes that are being built to new standards, or homes being retrofitted to high performance levels. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So as Stacy said, I'm the Chief Sustainability Officer for Layer. I'm your source when you run into problems or issues in a transaction. I get phone calls or emails on a weekly basis from our agents about selling homes with solar PV, for instance, with solar photovoltaic, solar panels on the rooftops. Pretty common one that I'm getting. I'm also getting more and more calls about ventilation, proper ventilation in homes. So a lot of interesting things going on in our marketplace, absolutely. And been working with NAR on these topics for quite a while now. Had opportunities to be able to work with our trade organization at the national level to look at things like climate risk and the impact on the industry, which we're certainly seeing right now. And also had great opportunities to work with the GSEs, with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They're both very, very engaged right now on green loan programs for a lot of different reasons. One of them is that both of those GSEs have now fairly substantive data on the fact that homes with high performance features, green homes, homes that are more energy efficient, actually default less than other homes in the marketplace. And we can tear apart why that might be, but the reality is for their investors, when they hear default less, that's a real compelling argument for them. So there's a lot of engagement happening there. And Stacey, just like you said, we're seeing consumers care about this stuff. 74% of US consumers are making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. And I think, Lear, the work that we're doing is showing real leadership here. I know that we've inspired other brokerages across the United States. Good news, Stacey, there's now a new director of sustainability for our real estate brokerage in Austin, Texas, someone that I trained with their green designation. So we're seeing, sustainability directors happening at different real estate brokerages as well. There's a reason for this. It's because consumers do, in fact, care about this. Doesn't matter if you're young or you're old, there is an engagement for consumers in this topic of being more environmentally aware. And of course, our homes are a big challenge in the environmental challenges that we face, particularly in terms of greenhouse gas emissions. 39% of US energy consumption is attributed to the built environment. So the homes we live in and work in are a big part of the greenhouse gas challenge that's out there. And there's a reason that S&P 500 companies have increased their voluntary sustainability reporting exponentially over the years 2011 to 2016. Has a lot to do with the fact that 74% of US consumers care about this stuff. So these are voluntary sustainability reporting that the leading companies in the world, the S&P 500 companies, have been doing. And you can see the big growth rate there from 2011 to 2016. And we, as Stacey said, do publish an annual sustainability report. We've got resources for that. If it's one of the 5 things that you're doing, it wouldn't be bad to take a look at the latest report, download it, and just check out some of the analysis that we do on market opportunities in the different states that we serve and what's going on in this industry. Also important to note that the National Association of Realtors' new strat plan, which was just published in November, is now committed to raising member understanding of the impact of climate change and the importance of sustainability practices to our industry. So this was a big win for us as a group of us at NAR that is part of a coalition to engage NAR on this topic. This is a huge win to see it in our current strat plan, to show real leadership here in the built environment through the National Association of Realtors, which, as you all know, I'm sure, is the largest trade organization in the United States. Very powerful policy team in DC. We now have a director of environmental and sustainability policy in Washington, DC. So, a lot of work is happening with our trade organization at the national level. Just some, quick little updates about why this is important in our business, in the residential real estate business. So this is the updated building code. It's called the Specialized Stretch Code, that we know about 20 to 30 communities in the Commonwealth are in the process of adopting. This is the most rigorous of the codes. And I'll try to make this chart simple for you. Essentially, what's happening here, whether we like it or not, on some level, really doesn't matter. But the building code is really pushing builders and developers in Massachusetts to move towards electrification and decarbonization. How do I know that? Well, it's right here on this chart. Look, a HERS score, something that you should all know about, particularly if you're in the new construction industry. For new construction is a HERS score of 45 for an all electric home, but a little more rigorous HERS score of 42 for a home heated with gas or propane or some other kind of fossil fuel. So that's the requirement in these specialized stretch code communities. But wait, there's more. If you go to the end of this chart over here, you can see that anybody building with gas or propane with the fossil fuel is required to make the building electrification ready, but on top of that, required to put solar on the roof where feasible. So it's much easier for the builder to build a decarbonized home in Massachusetts in these specialized stretch code communities than heating a home with fossil fuels. Another way to meet the new building code is through green certification called Passive House, a certification that you certainly need to be more and more aware of, again, if you're serving the new construction industry in any way. We also track other parts of, where our businesses are located. So where Florida, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. Florida, I was really pleased last year that Governor DeSantis did veto a net metering bill that was proposed by the legislature that would have really impacted the residential solar industry. There was a lot of pushback against that bill that was being proposed, and Governor DeSantis did in fact veto it in the end, which was great to see. It would have really negatively impacted residential solar in the state of Florida. I just noticed some new information from the state of New Hampshire that they're getting a lot of funding through this Inflation Reduction Act. I'll do a little bit deeper dive on that a little bit later, but a lot of funding to improve their energy efficiency programs, which is kind of the laggard here in New England. New Hampshire's kind of lagged behind quite a bit, but they're receiving federal government funding to improve those programs and to create a statewide climate action plan. So there's a lot of stuff going on here in all of our states that is moving these high performance buildings that are more energy efficient, that may have solar or ground source heat pumps on their side of the meter. And that's, a big part of this. We need to be educated about this stuff. And we try to make sure that Lear is a real leader in the education for our agents in the industry. And one of the best tools that we have is the NAR Green designation. So this last month, Bill Cataldo, Robin Foley, and Stacy Alcorn got her green designation as well. So really exciting to see. We're offering these classes all over the place. And it's a very intensive 2-day class, 2 full days, in which we really look at kind of the 50 shades of green that are out there, and how these impact homes that we're selling on a day-to-day basis. It's also, I'm going to just say this, Stacy, you mentioned what Lions are: strong protectors of their clients' interests, superior negotiators. You need the tools that are offered in the green designation to be a superior negotiator for homes with high performance features. We do a deep dive on the process of green valuation. And despite what you might hear from other realtors that appraisers don't recognize this stuff, that is absolute BS. They do. You need to know how to demand a qualified appraiser. We can't pick a specific appraiser, but we can demand a qualified appraiser and make sure that they have the information that they need to make the case to the bank underwriter about the value, the contributory value of a home with high performance features. So more sales, less risk of liability for Stacy in particular. You know, these homes absolutely have assets that appraise higher in the marketplace if the listing agent knows how to control the transaction. And that's something that we pride ourselves at Lair a lot on. This is part of the Lair check request form. This was added at the end of 2021 by Sergio. We've improved it a little bit. But when you go to fill out your check request, you'll see this piece in there to fill out. Now, it automatically pops up as no, that the home does not have any green high performance features. Unless you click you move that click to yes, you then see this drop down menu appear. So you wouldn't see the drop down menu if it stays clicked on no. That's kind of the default. You have to click the yes button to see this drop down button menu appear. And you can see that there are many features that are typical to see in existing and new construction homes that are out there in the marketplace, right? If the homeowner has gone to Mass Save to have a home energy assessment, I can guarantee you there are high performance assets in that home that are on this list. The second one, the storm protection list, actually comes from Beaches MLS, the Florida MLS, where that serves our realtors down in the Florida area. Obviously, resilient buildings are a big part of this list as well. And in Florida, that's a primary concern. So if you're a Florida agent, a New Hampshire agent, a Massachusetts agent, please, please, please do click the yes button and check some of these boxes. And you can make an argument even in the right-hand box that if the home has a bunch of LED lights, it has a home with high performance features in it. Now, we added this in 2021. Sergio did, I think it was August 2021. We experimented with it in 2021. The full rollout happened in 2022. And I kind of expected, and this was an error on my part, Stacy, I should have been better at this, but I kind of expected people were going to fill this out when they saw the opportunity to do so. Well, we sold 3,500 homes last year, and only 70 listing agents actually clicked this box to fill out high performance features. You're going to find out in a second why I think at least a third of the homes that we sold have some of these features out there. We need to be more aware as listing agents what these features are. We are the first real estate company in the United States to track our high performance home sales. So it's really important for you guys when you're filling out your check request form, please hit that yes button, look for high performance home features so we can show a big increase in our high performance home sales when we get to the end of this year with our home sales. We are the first, but we certainly won't be the last company to track high performance home sales, and we want to be the leader. This is just about education. It's just about, doing a little extra effort at that Lair check request form to see if your home had any of these features, or features that aren't listed. You can fill them in on that right-hand box. And as I said, there are in fact 50 shades of green, right? I think many homes do have some kind of green feature that you may not be aware of. So increased awareness about this is really, really critical for all of you as listing agents. And again, that's why we try to offer so many education opportunities for realtors at Lair to be at the top of their game in terms of in terms of being aware of these features and how they contribute to contributory value for the home. So here's an example of a high performance home feature. It's a HERS index score. This is very common in the new construction industry. In fact, it's required in the new construction industry in Massachusetts now under our new code. Many of you know I did a substantial renovation to my 1895 Victorian in Melrose, Mass, and did a deep energy retrofit, decarbonized that home. We went with cold climate air source heat pumps for heating and cooling, heat pump hot water heater, and even convinced my wife that we should move to an induction cooktop, kind of the latest technology in cooking that's out there in the marketplace. And you can see that the annual savings of of my utility bills on an annual basis is verified by a third party, or HERS rater, over $3,700 annually. Well, you give that information to a qualified appraiser, an appraiser that's gone through the Valuation of Sustainable Buildings program, and they can take that number to the bank using a net present value calculation on what that means for the rest of the useful life of the high performance systems in the homes. So this is just a a tool that an appraiser that's qualified can make a case to a bank underwriter that this home is worth more in the marketplace. We need to be responsible, right? Our part of what we do is make sure we are serving our customers in an extraordinary way. And this is part of that extraordinary service for homes with high performance features. Also, one of our great partners in this is Pearl Certification. They've recently launched an electrified home badge. And as you can see, my home at 957 Main Street in Melrose is currently Pearl Gold certified. We will be adding some EV parking once National Grid gets to put in the new utility meters, and that will put it to the highest level of Pearl certification, which is Platinum. And we're getting a lot of awareness at a national level on the work that we're doing to engage all of you to be a broker leader in this space. This article was in Realtor Magazine in 2019 after Stacy and I did a presentation at the San Francisco NAR annual conference in November. So we're certainly raising a lot of heads out there at the industry, at the state, local, and national level. Another presentation that I did this last May on green appraisals, really dependent upon agents. I'm going to say that again. If you're a listing agent listing a home with high performance features, I think you have a responsibility to serve that client in a different way. I think it's a way to differentiate yourself in the marketplace when you're competing against listings. If you have the skill set to know what high performance features are and how they impact an appraisal, you will have won that list. One little final takeaway, I'm going to throw this in the chat right now, and that is the Inflation Reduction Act. So I just threw in the chat Rewiring America's Inflation Reduction Act calculator. In fact, maybe I'll just jump on that. If I stop sharing here, maybe I can go to that window, which will be not my email, but here. So this is the link that I just sent you. 5 easy little inputs for you to put in, and it gives you that tax savings with this new Inflation Reduction Act that was signed into law by President Biden last year, August 2022. There are some electrification rebates that are coming. We're hoping they'll be available by 2023. But if you scroll down to the bottom, you will see there are some pretty valuable tax savings that are here. So for instance, rooftop solar installation, what 30%? What does that mean? If I install a rooftop solar installation on my roof and it costs $20,000, that means I get to take off 30%, $6,000 of what I owe the federal government the next year. Now, we're realtors, hopefully you're all having a wonderful year. We have a tax appetite. We're all independent contractors. This is a very powerful tool. The IRS is investing in your home to increase the energy efficiency on or renewable energy improvements on your side of the utility meter. So powerful tax incentives. And obviously the value here is it lowers your operating cost of your home as well. Without solar, my home is about $3,700 more cost efficient than it was before I did all the work on the home. So just some powerful tools out there for you to be able to check in on. Stacy, I would say if I were to add 2 things on your 5 list of things to do, one would be schedule a home energy assessment with your local utility, whether it's New Hampshire Saves, Mass Saves, or the Florida utility programs that are out there. And 2 is plug in your information in this IRA calculator and just check out some of the tax opportunities that are out there, and maybe share those with your tax advisor to see what this could mean for your tax filing when you file next April 15th. So that's what I have to say, Stacy.
Awesome, thank you. All right, let me pull up. So I shared this with Craig the other day, this cartoon. The reason why I think it's so interesting is because Craig and I are complete opposites politically. So, and unfortunately, I think that the climate stuff, like sustainability, is like super politically charged. And so sometimes like people just they don't want to hear it if they're on the opposite side politically. And that's why I love this cartoon, because I look at it and I'm like, I do think that all of us can be more conscious of the things that we're doing in the world to make it better. And the worst case is, let's just say it is all a hoax and all craziness and we're worrying about it for nothing. Who cares? We're still making the world a better place. So just something to think about. And I do think, like I said, when I look around in the traffic and I see that, I mean, people care about sustainability and energy efficiency because I can see it in the vehicles. And at least in the Massachusetts market, I feel that more than 50% of the vehicles now are electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles. And that's just by like looking around. So that just says that regardless of where you stand politically, regardless of what your own personal beliefs are about any of it, the truth is customers are caring about it. So because customers care about it, we need to care about it. And not only that, what I have learned by sitting through Craig's classes is that yes, certain sustainable features in a home do affect the value of the property. Plus, in general, we need to, as real estate agents, understand like heating systems and like the mechanics of a house. So we need to understand all of this stuff. So definitely get out, take your green designation, because you'll learn so much great content that you can use in your own business. And at the end of the day, even if you think all of it's a hoax, who cares? We're doing, we'll make the world a better place, and it can't be for nothing. So thank you, Craig.
Can I add one thing to that, Stacy? I mean,
yes.
Certainly the insurance industry doesn't think it's a hoax.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard, but in California, Farmers and Allstate are not adding new policies because of all the wildfire issues that are going on in California. So they are honoring their legacy policies that have been in place, but no new policies. They're essentially pulling out of the state of Florida. In Arizona and Phoenix, there's a development just outside the city lines that used to be connected to the city water and paid taxes for it. But the city of Phoenix, because the groundwater issues are so challenging there right now, they cut off that 800 unit development. They have to ship water in on trucks every day to serve those 800 units. And now in Phoenix, the governor has now said no new development in Phoenix because of the groundwater issues. So this is definitely impacting the real estate industry here and now. There's no question about it. Florida insurance policies, super challenging right now. Right. So this is really impacting us here and now. We're seeing it We're seeing it right now. And, if you believe the science, which certainly NASA does, we're only at the beginning of this, and we really have a short period of time in which we can tackle some of these challenges. The real estate industry is going to be a real important player in tackling these challenges, particularly at the residential level, because as I said, 39% U.S. energy consumption attributed to the built environment. And we do have the technology right now to deal with homeowner solutions on our side of the utility meter and make vast improvements for the health and welfare of our clients.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, we're back on our Layer Program and Services guide, and we are moving over. So each page of the guide is a tool that you have access to in your business. One of the tools you're taking advantage of today is the Layer Bootcamp. So thank you for joining us. You can watch the replay of today's program, by the way, at youtube.com/Layer Training. We will post it this afternoon. Next, I just want to talk for 2 minutes about the Happy Agent team at Layer. So if you are a Layer agent and you need assistance, our team is available 7 days a week. This is our staff, our marketing team, business development team. Any questions you have for your business, we tell agents just email happyagent@layerrealty.com, and our team will reach out and answer the question. So we tell our agents, if you need anything, like even if it's a marketing piece, and even if you could reach out to Sergio or somebody else on the marketing team, send all the inquiries into happyagent@layerrealty.com. This is our back end customer support system, and our customer is you, the real estate agent. By sending in your inquiries for whatever you need help with, from writing an offer to a question on a transaction to a marketing piece, by sending it to happyagent@layerrealty.com, our team spends all day on that back end system. The reason we do that is because email, like regular email, is super inefficient. So all day long, even me as the CEO of the company, I'm on the back end of our Happy Agent system. And when a request comes in and somebody needs something from me, it gets assigned to me. So every day I log into the system multiple times throughout the day, and it'll say, hey, these 5 people are waiting to hear from you. So much more efficient than an email, because I could tell you if I go onto my email right now, just like you guys, I'm going to see thousands of emails. Whereas if I log into the Happy Agent system, I'll immediately see who needs assistance so that I can help support them. But that is true for all of our staff as well. So if you need anything, just email happyagent@layerrealty.com. Our team will immediately assign your request to one of our staff members, and then we follow the trajectory of the question to make sure that you're getting real help when you need it and that you're never left hanging in your business. Now, quickly, I want to go over 3 products. So first of all, when agents join a brokerage, one of the questions they typically have is, are there any monthly fees associated with being with the brokerage? And at Layer, the answer is maybe. We do have an optional $39 per month tech bundle. And for the $39 a month, you get 3 products. One is IZACT, which is a database and marketing system. 2 is Boston Logic, which is an agent website. And 3 is Real Scout, which is a property search program. You can go out, any agent can go out and get these, because we're going to go through the benefits really quickly on each one of these. The benefit, if you're a Layer agent, is that we've bundled all these, and because of the size of our brokerage, we get them very inexpensively. So we can bundle them and offer them to you for $39 a month. But even if you're a non-Layer agent and you like any of these products, you can go get any one of these products for $39 per month. So like, let's just say you love what IZACT has and you want it for your business, then you can go as an individual agent from any brokerage and sign up for $39 a month. With Layer, you just get all three products for $39 a month. So IZACT is a CRM system. Why do you need a CRM or a client relationship management system? Because your CRM system is your gold. Your database is your gold. If you think about all the largest companies that make money in our industry, like Zillow and Realtor.com, those are database companies. They collect people's information and market to them constantly. So we need to copy that as real estate agents. We have to collect people's information and market to them constantly. One of the jobs you will have in your real estate business is to constantly collect names, email addresses, and market to them. Eyes-Act is a phenomenal system for doing that. The reason we love Eyes-Act is it's so simple to use. There are other companies that have more advanced products. For example, Follow Up Boss, LionDesk, all of these have way more bells and whistles. Eyes-Act is great for its simplicity. Now, there are lots of different CRM systems out there. The one that is best is the one that you will use. So we like Eyes-Act because it's so simple. It makes it very easy for agents to get it up and running and to start using it. The basic things that it does on a monthly basis, first of all, it's a place just to store the names and email addresses of every person you meet, friends, family, Op-City leads, any lead sources that you get, stick them into Eyes-Act. Open house leads, any leads that you get should go into your database so that you are marketing to them. So that's the first part, is it is a storage warehouse for data, names and email addresses, just like Zillow, just like Realtor.com. Secondly, this program markets to the people you put into the database. It sends out a monthly newsletter. We think it's a fantastic newsletter. It does take about 20 minutes at the start, once you set up the system, to customize the header of your newsletter. Once you've customized the header of your newsletter, you're pretty much done. You set it up so it's set it and forget it. All you do is constantly add in new people. You do an open house Sunday, come back, add all those people into your system. And then it will send those people a monthly newsletter, an e-newsletter with your header. We think it's a pretty fantastic newsletter without doing any customization. Can you customize it? Of course. You can go in each month. It's got your header. It's got a little letter that the system has written for you. And then it has like 3 or 4 articles about like your gardening, landscaping, painting, like home repairs, stuff like that. So I tell agents, don't spend time customizing it. The only time you might want to customize is like if you got a client appreciation event coming up and you want to put a little one-liner in the email that goes out saying, oh, don't forget to register for my upcoming event. Other than that, set it and forget it. You do not need to change anything. That's the biggest value of the Eyes-Act system. It is set it and forget it. Eyes-Act is one of the 5 items. If you do not have a newsletter going out to your database once a month, go sign up for Eyes-Act. So that you get this newsletter just going out to everybody. It's just a constant reminder to people that you're in real estate. This system does some other cool things as well. First of all, it does, if you put the client's birthday into the system, on their birthday, it'll send them a birthday email. If you put the date that they closed on their home, every year on the anniversary date of the closing, it'll send them an email. Like a home anniversary email. So those are the cool pieces to the program. I love it because it's simple. It's so simple, and simplicity is where it is at. It is set it and forget it. So again, if you don't have a CRM system, sign up for Eyes-Act, just so you have something marketing to people and that you have a storage warehouse for your database. Next, if you're part of Layer, if you sign up for the tech bundle, you also get Boston Logic, which is an agent website. It's a templated website. I do tell you, when you sign up, we ask you, we have a little form you fill out with some questions. And we do most of the setup for you so that you don't have to spend a lot of time customizing it. Again, don't get bogged down in weeds. Don't get bogged down in like extra customization of the newsletter. Don't get bogged down in like extra like bells and whistles on the website. In reality, consumers aren't spending a ton of time on your website. I'd rather see you spend more time putting together a really nice bio about who you are and put that on your company website, on LinkedIn, on your realtor.com site, which is free and usually comes up on the first page of a Google search. I'd rather see that you spend more time making sure your bio is really good than spending tons of time customizing with pretty pictures and stuff. The third part of our bundle is Real Scout. So Real Scout is a cool product. There are many agents in the business who, when they're working with a buyer, they just put that buyer into an MLS search. So MLS is basically sending an email out to the customer every day with all the new listings that hit the market. This is like an amped up version of that. It's much prettier, more professional. I'm going to have Len come on, our Director of Business Development, to basically give you guys an overview of two different products. One is Real Scout, which is the one you're looking at right now. This is part of the $39 a month tech bundle if you're a Lair agent. Even if you're not a Lair agent, you can go sign up for this product. We think it's super cool and that you'll want it. And then he's also going to go over Cloud CMA. Lair does have an upgraded version of our of Cloud CMA, so he'll give you a brief overview of that. And Cloud CMA is available for any Lair agent. You don't have to be part of the tech bundle to get that. So with that, I'm going to introduce Len.
Hi, everyone. All right, so I'm going to start by showing you my emails. What I did is I separated out the emails that I got from Real Scout. So when one of your buyers set up a search, they're going to start getting emails as the property comes on the market. But this is not just like an early morning email drop, where everything is just set all at once. But the cool thing about Real Scout is it has natural language in it. So like on this listing, it says, "Hi, Len, here's a listing that meets your needs, located near shopping, 6 Technology Drive, has central air, tile floors, and a deck," right? And it sounds like maybe you actually wrote the email itself directly to the person. So, oh, come on. What do you mean I've been logged out? There we go. All right, so this, come on. Don't know why this happens, but it happens every so often. I get totally knocked out and have to sign back in. Well, anyway, so the whole purpose that I was trying to show you was every email comes with natural language. It's written in a way that says, here's a listing you might be interested in. It has tile floors and countertops and everything else. So every time it is different. So it's really cool. So it's much better than the generic emails that your MLS would send out. And then when you sign in, one of the cool things is you have this dashboard. So as soon as you sign in, you see all the activity that's been going on that your buyers have been looking at. So as I scroll down here, I can see Leonid, he actually opened up and viewed this property. And he did it 2 hours ago. So maybe he's pretty active. So when he opened this up and took a look at it, here's approximately what he saw. He saw a really nice layout with lots of big pictures, all the information and everything. Because I got knocked out of my email, I don't know. But one of the cool things that Real Scout does is, now I'm viewing the, here we go, I'm going to view as the home buyer. This is what my buyer would have looked at, right? This is his view that he would have seen, right? He has the opportunity to come down here and say whether or not he's interested or not interested in the house. He's able to give me direct feedback or ask me questions directly. And if he puts anything in here, right, I immediately get texted so I can see that he's active and he has a question. Or he can even click here and say, hey, he wants to see the house tomorrow, that type of thing. So the whole purpose of Real Scout is it's a very interactive buyer search program. You instantly know what your buyers are looking at. You get the instant feedback from them to know if they like it or not. So, and you can scroll down and you can see what properties they have looked at. You can see what properties your buyers have opened. And so you see exactly what they're doing. So that's one of the beauties about this program. So when you first sign in, you're going to see your dashboard and everything else. Over here are your messages. So if any of your buyers have sent you a message, it's right here that you can open up and see the message immediately. But you're still going to get texted on these messages too. So let's go back here to the dashboard. And one of the cool things about this search program is, you know, with the MLS search or other programs, they have certain search parameters, but it's the traditional way of searching for a location. This program has two ways of searching for a location. So you can go the traditional way of putting in the city and the state, right? Or putting in the zip code, and that pulls the information from MLS. And if an agent entered the information wrong, it will show you the wrong information. But the second way, which I think is really super cool that I use all the time, is pulling the information directly from the Pitney Bowes geographic system. And it's very, very accurate. And in fact, so I know that in, say like in Nashua, there's a Bicentennial school district. Bicentennial School District. And as I type that in, I have all these different choices. These look like maybe towns and neighborhoods. I come down here and here's a choice of elementary school, right? And I'm going to choose that. And what it's going to do is it's going to show the actual boundaries of that school district. So if you have a buyer who's looking for a specific school district, this narrows it down. And the great thing is it does not rely on information put in by other realtors, which could be wrong. So this is a very accurate search. So this is a great system, is that, and when you set up a search, if you belong to more than one MLS system, you can switch between them. Or you can use multiple MLS systems. I recommend to switch between them, set up separate searches for your buyer. If your buyer is looking in separate towns, or separate states, separate MLSs, set up separate searches for them. So, but you would, choose this listing status, the property type, the price range, and then you can narrow it down by bedrooms and bathrooms, however you want to do it, and then choose whatever search area you're looking for. Once you've chosen a search area and everything, you can save it to your client, and you would, just pick your client. And you want to give the search a name, something that you're sure to remember. And then on the search alert schedule, you have choices. You can do it daily, right? And if you do it daily, you can say, do you want the email to go out in the morning or the afternoon? I prefer to switch to ASAP. And that means that as soon as something comes on the market, it's going to pop up in their email. So I think that's really important. So the main part of this program is doing the searches and having an interactive search, but there is more to it too. If you're working with sellers, you can set them up on a market alert. You can just pick, an area, right? Let's just do Chelmsford here. And, oh, you know what? It has me in the wrong MLS. That's why. If this happens to you, you would need to go to search and click here. Yep, it had me in the New Hampshire MLS, and I want to go to the MLS pin, start searching. And we're going to go to market alerts now. So now if I type in Chelmsford, boom, it's going to show me the map and everything. I put in the price range if I want, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to preview this activity. And now it's going to pull everything up. Actually, I didn't have to switch. I just didn't go far enough in, that's all. All right, so anyway, market activity, this is great for your sellers. You can say, I want to send them a biweekly report, monthly, quarterly report. The report they're going to get is going to include like a heat map, and it's going to show the number of buyers actually looking in that area. And then it's also going to show them the listings that were viewed the most. And then it's going to show them recently sold listings, and it's going to keep them engaged, which is very important. There is another tool here that is for sellers. If you click here on test the market, this is a pretty neat thing. And what you can do is you put in an address, and we'll just put in here and say 33 Megan Lane is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. And let's say the target price is, say, maybe $575, right? And you put that in, and you're going to generate a report. Now, this is important because whenever you do a CMA, sellers are always going to say, yeah, but I was hoping to get it priced up here. You know, this report will help you keep them within the range that you think they should be. And basically, what this is going to show is, like, if they list their home at 575 where you think it should be, right? But they're saying, oh, we should be at 600. You can explain to them they're going to lose 27% of their buyers. So this is a great tool to help keep your sellers within that range. So, and then the last thing I'm going to show you in Real Scout is the landing page. So every program comes with a landing page, and it comes with your own URL, right? And so you can use this URL for your email signature, or you can take this URL and have it as a landing page on your website. And you can customize the page however you want. The standard has the Golden Gate Bridge, so that doesn't work for us. So you'd want to go in, but you can change this around. And as you can see, I added in the photo, the lion, recent transactions, and everything else. And actually, all people have to do then is, like, if they land on your page, just click here, and they can start a search, and it's going to do a search within your Real Scout account, and you'll be able to capture their information. So Real Scout is, it's got so many cool features. It's well worth it. So, all right, so let's go back to let's go to Cloud CMA. You have different ways of getting to Cloud CMA, and one of them is just going to cloudcma.com, and you'll want to hang on, let me just show you the way in. Boom. So, and it's powered by Lone Wolf, and they have other programs that they're always trying to get you to sign up for, but basically is, oh, well, it just took me to the same place. Okay, that's fine. How is this one different? Yeah. Boom. All right. So Cloud CMA, when you're doing a CMA, and you can see all your past CMAs here and everything else. So let's just go and pick Tom Sillerman. That's a fake person. So let's take a look. We're going to pretend like I'm going to edit this property, edit the CMA. So when doing Cloud CMA, once you get signed in, once you're set up and you have it so that the branding is lined up with Lair, and you start to do a CMA, you have different ways of getting the properties in there. You can use MLS Pin, and it works with beaches. I haven't tried it with Prime MLS yet, but I will experiment with it. But you can also just say import directly any MLS ID numbers that way too. But what you'd want to do is you put in the client's name, you put in their address, right? And watch this. So I'm going to back this out, and I'll put this address in again, right? And as you type, right, it has all the different choices, and you click, boom, and it will fill in from the tax data. the 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1280 square feet. And you can either put in your own MLS ID numbers here of the properties that you want to use, or you can let this program find the properties yourself. So I would say let's update listings, and it's going to do a search of homes in Chelmsford that are approximately sort of kind of similar to that Marina Drive. And as we open this up, it's going to take us to the next page. It's going to show us a map of the properties. And then at this point, then it's going to have a whole bunch of properties here. And you can go through and decide whether or not you want to use these properties as something that you want to do as part of the CMA. And you can come here and you can click on notes and adjustments, and you can take a look and you can say, okay, yep, that's a single story ranch with 1-car garage, very similar. I'm going to keep it, no problem. Let's find one that probably wouldn't keep. Well, this one's already unchecked, but you say, well, this is a Cape, that's nothing like the ranch, you know, so we're going to uncheck it and not use it. And then once you go through and choose all the properties you want to use, you can see over here, you'll have the low, medium, and average prices right here. And you come down here, and now we're not going to use $1 million property for that ranch. That's not anything like the ranch at all. So, and you make, and here are the changes here. And then you're going to say you want to customize the report. Now, here's the cool part is when you get to this part, one of the things you want to make sure you do, well, get away from the, oh, geez. All right, let's figure this out. Let's see what happens if I go back a page. Sorry, guys. Here we go. All right, let's try this one again. Let's customize the report. There we go. All right, so the cool thing about this is when you open this up, it's going to automatically, if you have everything set up, it's automatically going to load all the layer pages. And you want to make sure that right here it says for the theme, Lair Realty Partners. And then over here on the left will be all the different folders that you have available. Now, if everything in the Lair folder is already here and used, it won't be over here. But you can go through and you can pick and choose which pages you want to use. And you can look at these pages by clicking, hold your mouse over here and click the eyeball, and it's going to open up the page and show you what it's going to look like. And these are the pages that are included in your CMA, and it looks great. Now, the cool thing about this is every page is always going to be in the Lair colors with the Lair logo. And the marketing department did some great work on these pages, so it's awesome. And then let's go down here to some listing pages. You get to pick and choose which style of pages you want in there. There's a summary of pages. Let's open this one up. And what you're going to see again is it's the Lair colors, right? And then at the bottom of every page in Lair colors is going to be your information and the Lair logo. So, and you get to pick and choose which pages you want to put into your CMA. You can even create your own custom pages. And as you scroll down, you know, it's like if you're not using testimonial tree, then you can just remove it. Whatever ones you're using, you can keep or remove. Either way, it's up to you. And then when you are done, you would say, let's publish this report. The cool thing about Toolkit CMA is it's going to give you two options. It's going to give you the traditional CMA, which is going to be the PDF that you can download and print on any of our color printers. And then you can bind it. If there's the admin is in the office, she can bind it for you. Let's see, it's taken a while. But so that's the traditional CMA. The other cool thing though is there is a live version. So I'm going to click here on view the live version, and you can go in and make changes to this too, but it's pretty neat. So like you always want to do your CMA presentations in person with the seller, and you may decide like you don't want to print everything out or you don't want to go through flipping pages. You can go and meet with them and meet with them and have your whole CMA on your tablet and just kind of scroll through. And this is what it's going to look like. And it's going to have the PDFs up front, right? And you can click on these, right? And it'll have like, here's the 20-point marketing plan, which by the way, you can personalize too. But anyway, you can go through and show them everything. If you wanted to highlight anything, you just click on this marker here and you can, circle stuff and whatever. When you're ready to go to the next page, just click on the next page and it takes you to the next page, just like that. You can click here, go back to the main thing. And then as you scroll down, what you're going to see is here are all the comps. And this is really neat because it's going to show the comps as live listings in a way, in which, it's here and you're scrolling through and everything, right? And what you can do is you can scroll down, show them more information. You can scroll to the right, show them more houses. You come up here to Woodhead, right? And you can click on the picture and it's actually going to open up the listing and you can talk about the listing. You can show them the photos, because, and you can say, yes, this house is very similar because it also has a stone walk, just like you have a stone walk or whatever. So, so this is the live view. And then down here, you can go like, oh, I'm going to go to the next listing or the next listing, right? Or you can come back here and you go back to the main page where the listings are. Now you can go and let's take a look at the average price. And here's all the graphs for what's closed. I think everything on this one's closed, a couple pending, one active, right? So all this information is the live view. So, so that's Cloud CMA. There is so much to it, and it really does a beautiful presentation. And if you have everything set up correctly, it also has the layer branding. And so just the two things that are important for the layer branding is that when you get to the customized pages here, you need to make sure that it says Layer Realty Partners. If you're unable to click on that, you need to go back to your profile and click on your photo or your initials up here and go to account settings. And then this will take you to where it'll ask you your name and it'll ask you your company. And it's important, as soon as it loads, right here, it's important that it always says in company name that it says Layer Realty Partners, exactly like that. And that way it will always choose the layer colors and the layer branding pages. So, so that's the two cool programs.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Len.
You're welcome.
All right, I wanted to take you guys back because I mentioned this a few minutes ago and I wanted to make sure you guys saw it because this is how awesome I think it is. When I was under the print marketing page at layeragentservices.com, I said TPMCO, the Personal Marketing Co., has this awesome program for $25. So for $25, whenever you have a closing, you set up the client in this program. It's a one-time fee of $25. And then TPMCO sends out branded marketing materials over 5 years with it's a mix of magazines and postcards. So just a mix of magazines and postcards over a series of 5 years. It's 21 mailings over 5 years for $25 per client, and that includes postage. So really important because, like I said, sometimes I think once a customer closes, we're on to the next buyer or the next seller. This is a way just to make sure you're staying in touch with the past people that you just closed on, and it's set it and forget it. So when you go to the personal marketing company page, you want to go to products. And then you want to go down to automated. No, I want to verify this. I think it's automated client follow-up. I just want to make sure I get you guys to the right place. Yes, automated client follow-up. Just because they have lots of products on their site, but the one that we highly recommend is $25, one-time charge, and it'll stay in touch with your clients for the next 5 years. All right, with that, we're going back to the Layer program and services page. And next up, I want to bring our Director of Marketing, Sergio, on to talk about all the stuff you get as part of the Layer Marketing Concierge. You guys already saw a great deal of information at Layer Agent Services that you can go in and customize. But also, if you're a Layer agent, every time you get a new listing, our team automatically creates your listing materials. So you never have to worry about creating your own listing packages. We do it. And also every Monday, you're going to get all of your social media posts. But I'll have Sergio come on for a couple minutes and just talk about how best to utilize these resources.
All right, thanks. Stacy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Okay, very good. Right, so like Stacy mentioned, we have tons of resources that we provide for our Layer agents. I'm going to go over a couple of these resources. Number one is the Layer Marketing Bundle, which if you're a Layer agent, when your home goes live on the MLS, that's when it goes live, not coming soon. Our team starts creating this marketing bundle. The marketing bundle includes a brochure, as well as some social media pieces. You will receive an email just like this within 24 hours after your listing goes live on the MLS. You'll get an email just like this with 3 different buttons. The first one is to download your bundle. This brings you over to a Google Drive, which includes things like the listing sheets. We try to go in and check for any kind of grammar. We really make sure that the pictures make sense, that they follow a flow to them. We try to make sure that we have the best images for you, and as well as your information on there. We are also including social media that follows the whole listing transaction. So new listing, when you first list your home, we have a just sold when you end up selling it, but we also have under agreement and open house. Now, this is great to just use and share as is. Again, this opens up in Google Drive, so you can open this link in your email on your phone, and you're able to just post directly to social media by just downloading the image and posting. And for the PDF, you can then forward this or print it out either at home or at any of our offices. Now, the other 2 links are for Canva. Now, we use Canva a lot. It's a platform that lets us share the original designs with you, right? We're not sending you files. You never lose a file. It's always there. And for example, for these, we don't necessarily share templates with you. We share the original document. So you can share this, or you can come back to us and reply back to an email saying, hey, can you add this information? Again, this is a Canva document, so you are free to change any of this information. I'll make a copy of this because it is a live listing, but I can come in here, add or remove photos. It's very easy. You just upload a new image, a new photo. Let me just upload a random picture of a house here. Let's say I want to change it for this aerial view. Instead, I can just click on a photo, drag it over, and it will snap into place. Now, let me free up some more room so you can see it happen. It just snaps into place, and then you can let go. Click on share, click on download. You can download this as tons of different file formats. So PDF print, if you're going to print it, a PDF standard, if you just want to send this via email, you can download this as a PNG or JPEG if you want to actually post this brochure to social media. Again, you can do anything you would like with it. Same down here. If I want to add a different photo, I can just choose a different photo here, just upload it from my computer, and then click, drag over. It'll snap into place where you want it. So as long as you don't let go of the button, of your mouse button, it will come into where exactly you want. You let go, and now your photo is here. Now, if you want to adjust the photo within the frame, you just double click, and you're able to adjust it like so. The point is you can get in here, make changes, print it out, and be on your way. Same with the social media pieces. We have another link here that says social media Canva template. You can come in here. We are including customizable pieces all the way at the bottom, which we don't customize for you yet. We don't customize them at when your home goes live, because if you do have a price change, we won't know what the new price is. But this is here for you. Just click on this edit Canva link. You can come in here, make any changes to the price, share. This is a social media piece, so you can just download this. You can choose the exact page that you want. So here's our price change page. Click on done and then click download. This will download a PNG. And that's it. It's very simple to customize. Again, you don't want to spend a ton of time in here making like tiny adjustments. Everything is here. The logo is here. If you do want to change over your picture to something more new or updated, you can easily click. You can drag and drop your new image. But again, you don't want to spend a ton of time on here. Down here, we have a couple of links. One is to request printing and mailing. But the other link that we have added here is to request a 4-page brochure. Now, when I click on this link, this first option is a 4-page brochure. If you have a listing that has more images, you went out and got the drone photos, it's like $1 million plus listing, we can create this 4-page brochure, which prints out on 11 by 17. You fold it open like a magazine. You have the option to upload the original images for this property. You can also just send us a link that your photographer provided. We have we make sure that we have the original quality photos. We also include this link to Open House resources, which you saw on our Layer Agent Services page. And that is the marketing brochure, the Layer Marketing Bundle. If you feel you're not getting this, give us an email at happyagents@layerrealty.com, and we'll make sure that we're sending it to the right email and that it's getting out to you. Again, so within 24 hours, you will receive this. Now, the other thing I wanted to cover is the social media, the weekly social media we send out to you. Now, every week on Monday, you will receive an email just like this. This week we had 4th of July. So we are creating social media posts every week for the whole week, every single week. We are sending them out to you. You'll receive an email on Monday just like this, and it includes images, which you can just download directly here. We do have this Canva link if you have a logo that you would like to use, if you have a custom logo for your team. But again, you don't want to spend too much time in Canva. We are including captions, suggested captions. So before we would just make the image. Now we're giving you a suggested caption. So if you don't know what to say, just copy and paste this link and you can add or remove. We have a ton of hashtags that you can use, and you can use this on basically any social media. You can post this on Instagram, Facebook. It's a platform independent. So again, we're including things for buyers and sellers, as well as stories. So if you want to use these images for Instagram and Facebook stories, they're here. Again, we're including those Canva links, but you don't necessarily have to spend too much time on them. And that's it. Again, a lot of these tools, like in summary, a lot of these tools are for you to just come in here, get everything done. We're also, I failed to mention this, but we are also including a text message too. You also get a text message every Monday, which leads you to basically the same thing, which is this page here, which you can then copy and paste. But again, like in summary, you don't want to spend too much time on this stuff, but we try to give you the right tools. It's easy to appear busy, but it's not necessarily productive. So that's it.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Let's see. All right. We are almost done for today's program, but a couple other things that I want to make sure you guys are aware of. So let's see. All right, next, we're back at the Lair Program and Services Guide. And first, if you're a Lair agent, I want to make sure that you understand our Boost program. So basically, under the Boost program, anytime you list a property, a residential property for sale, we do 7 days of advertising for you. And all of that is designed to get you more business, more leads. So the way it works, the system will email you that when the ad is about to run, if you want to go in and make changes, you can go in and change out the photo. You can do whatever you want with your advertisement. Again, don't get crazy over it. It's set it and forget it. The idea of the program is it's set up to automatically run the ad. And then any leads that come through on the program go directly to you. Anytime you get a lead that has an email address, you should put that email name and email address into your set it and forget it CRM system. And you should follow up with the clients. But remember, these are people who are seeing the advertisement, usually on Facebook or Instagram. It could be on one of the other pay-per-click sites as well. They're cold leads, but some of them are very interested or have a family member that might be interested in the property. So follow up as much as possible. And if there is an email address, you want to make sure that it's within your set it and forget it CRM system. Also, don't forget to go to Lair Agent Services under the marketing section, under the brochure section. There's a flyer about the Boost by HomeSpotter program so that you can include that in your listing presentation and talk about this cool tool when you go on a listing. So also, we've already been through a lot of the training at Lair. You can get most of the training right from our YouTube station. So youtube.com/Lair training. Make sure to subscribe to that so that you get notified every time a new training program hits our YouTube. But we also have Lair University. This is an online university where we also have hundreds of training classes on all different things. We have everything categorized into different areas. So if you're looking for a specific class and you don't see it on our YouTube, there's a good chance you'll find it at Lair University. I already talked about our coaching program. If you're a Lair agent, literally every month, there's all kinds of different opportunities to participate in live and virtual events. Participate. Also wanted to just give you guys, if you are a Lair agent, if you go down to lairrealty.com/listing tools, this is like a cheat sheet, like all the things that we think you should be talking about and like tools and stuff that you should be including as part of a listing presentation. If you're a new agent and you need help filling out forms for any market, you can go to lairrealty.com/transaction blueprint. There's lots of information within this booklet about how to get paid. One of the things we pride ourselves on is paying quickly and efficiently. Everything at our brokerage is by email, including the checks. So when you get paid, or if you have to bring a co-broke to closing, a co-broke check or to a seller check, it's all going to be e-check. We want to make it super efficient for you. Although we have 30 plus beautiful offices, we make it very simple that you can run your business super efficiently and effectively, never going to an office. This page here is all the different lead programs out there. So you'll want to go through this. On the left side of the booklet is all referral fee-based lead platforms. On the right side of the book are all the subscription-based lead platforms. If you want leads, this is where you go, especially referral fee-based lead platforms. I think it's an awesome place. Sign up for every single referral fee-based lead service out there. You only pay if you close a transaction. It adds to your platform. It adds people into your database. So don't look at it many agents fail when it comes to cold leads, and I think it's because they're looking at it. They have the wrong perspective about cold leads. They're cold. So first of all, a great number of them are not going to close. You have to know which ones within the group, some of them are going to close. More importantly, it's a platform you're building of people that you can market to. So build that platform, market to them, invite them to your appreciation events, and you'll get referrals. Might not be that person that buys or sells a house, but you are going to differentiate yourself by the follow-up and the marketing and inviting people to events, so that you turn these referral fee-based lead platforms into a constant lead source. We already had Len go through our Cloud CMA program. We also have a great deal of like ongoing wellness classes as at Lair. So you'll see exercise programs, yoga, stuff like that. If you are a Lair agent and you want to be involved and have a voice in the tools, the training, the technology that we have at Lair, please join a committee. You can go to Lair Realty, L-A-E-R, realty.com and /committees and complete our committee application. I always say, like, all the cool things we have at Lair, the tools, the training, the technology, the marketing platforms, all of it is a byproduct of agents who donate their time monthly to sharing their voice, telling us where we can be better as an organization. And then it's our job as a company to follow through and make sure that we make the little changes that make a difference in the agent's business. You got to hear from Craig Foley today, our Chief Sustainability Officer. Please, by all means, head over to our Lair Agent Services section, and you'll see scroll down under, I think it's under Technology Tools. We have a whole section on sustainability. Check out those resources like the Pearl certification, things like that. I mean, everything. If you do go to our YouTube station, you'll see that Craig does offer great classes that offer insight, and anything he talks about in those classes, such as like the green appraisal addendum, you're going to find it at our sustainability section at Lair Agent Services. One of the things we're super proud of is all of our office locations and the awesome art that we put out at our locations. We do look at it that one of the jobs we have as a brokerage is to help agents maintain a high vibration, a positive energy, because all of that plays into your ability to successfully attract business. That includes the art. So we make sure that our spaces for our agents are welcoming and a wonderful place to work. These are all of our office locations. These are at the very back of our booklet. If you're a Lair agent, you can use any of the office locations. You just go to lairrealty.com /office access. And there's a little form that you fill out. Give us your name, your Lair email address, and your phone number. The system will automatically send you all the information for utilizing that space. If you want to meet customers on a Saturday, or you want to just go work out of any of the office locations, please do. By the way, if you're going to any of those offices, they all have nice A-frame signs that invite the public to come in. So if you're going to spend some time in an office, might as well put a sign out front and see if you can attract some business. Also, if you're having clients drop off stuff, you can always check out our host schedule to know where the staff is going to be located each day. So the office hours for staff are all different at the different locations. If you want to see who is where, let's say you have a client dropping something off at an office different than yours, you can just go to our lairrealty.com /host schedule to see the office hours of the staff. with that, we are done with today's program. I want to thank everybody who attended. It's a really long 3 hours for anybody to sit through a Zoom meeting for 3 hours. Couple things I do want to say. I can see we have a mix of some agents who are Lair agents, so welcome. Thank you for joining us again in our monthly boot camp. I also want to say for any agent that is not a Lair agent, by all means, utilize all of our resources that are available at lairagentservices.com. But also, if you're interested in learning more about the tools, training, technology, we've helped hundreds upon hundreds of real estate agents achieve their big goals. We would love to speak with you. Even if we don't currently have an office in your marketplace, we're interested in expanding. So we cover all of Massachusetts pretty much. We cover all of New Hampshire pretty much. We're interested in expanding further throughout New England. We're also super interested in further expanding throughout Florida. Right now, our offices are in Delray Beach, Port St. Lucie, Wellington, and West Palm Beach. We're working on offices out by Naples and Bradenton, but we're interested in creating a blueprint in the Florida market, just like we've been doing in New England with additional locations throughout that marketplace. So if you're interested in learning more about Lair, you can just email happyagent@Lair Realty, Laer realty.com, happyagent@lairrealty.com, and just say I'm interested in learning more about Lair. That'll get assigned to me, and I'll reach out to you and we can set up a confidential conversation about your business. And with that, I want to just say thank you to Craig and Lynn and Sergio for another awesome boot camp. And with that, we will see everybody. You're welcome to join us next month as well. So thanks, everybody. Have a great summer.